Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be talking about the movie One Night in Miami. Fun fact: this is actually my fourth attempt at making this video, so hopefully all goes well I I can just get this out to you guys. So yeah, first off, let me just say I love this movie. Regina King did a great job. All the actors did very convincing jobs. Um, it's been somewhat of kind of a while since I've seen a movie that portrays Black Brotherhood as well as One Night in Miami did, and especially between a successful young black men, because um, especially in America, being being black in Eurocentric areas, being black is seen as intimidating. They see us as animals, see us as beasts of burden, and see us as, to be honest, can you really blame them for seeing us as a threat? Like, we never really intended for them to see us as a threat, but they will. It's not all of them, I know, but it's definitely there, and I know in 2020 we saw that resurface because apparently history just keeps on repeating. History is a cycle, a very vicious cycle. Anyway, um, a big thing in this movie for me was emotion, and the while we're on that, the person whose emotions I related to the most in this movie was Malcolm X. To have that sense of foreboding, that sense of paranoia, that sense that the people around you are conspiring against you, are plotting your death, and eventually succeeding in killing him. Um, in this movie, we saw a lot of desperation from Malcolm. Especially in the beginning, we saw, um, his wife was really worried that. Can you blame her? Like, you can't blame her for being worried that her husband might not come home. Like, honestly, especially doing the things that Malcolm did, saying the things that Malcolm said. He was going against the nation of Islam, going against the great Elijah Muhammad. Again, powerful black men, and a lot of times it's our own people who take us out, and then it's still not clear who did Malcolm in. I'm not gonna say anything about that, but I'm just talking about the movie. All right, so Malcolm, he he was really militant in this movie, and I'm assuming that I think that's how he was in real life too, where he was always serious. And knowing Malcolm X's backstory, like seeing him go from that into this militant Muslim is just kind of funny to me. But yeah, a lot of I feel like a lot of Malcolm's actions were driven by desperation, and but I do appreciate when he told Ali that he wasn't just asking him to come to the nation of to become a Muslim just for his own benefit. It was he wasn't just Ali's advisor for his own benefit. None of that. He was his friend, and I really appreciated that. And in some sense, I love what Malcolm said was right, and I love what Malcolm X said in his time is still true today, where um uh sorry about that, guys, where there's different ways to fight back. There's King's way, there's Malcolm's way, but I feel like in 2020 Malcolm's way was the way to go. King's way wasn't. It was good. It was good. Back to the movie. I'm sorry. Uh, let's move on from Malcolm for the time being. the portrayal of Malcolm was really good, really well executed, really convincing. Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was what I feel like um Malcolm would describe as a house nigga, but Sam wasn't a trader. Sam was a businessman. He understood the business of that freedom comes with black economics. That's why he was doing business with the Rolling Stones. That's how he did the things that he did, and he tried to convince Malcolm of that. But in Malcolm's desperation, he wasn't able to see the truth um, that Sam was trying to show him. Uh, Jim Brown, Jim Brown, Jim Brown. There's that scene early on in the movie where that old man tells him, where he offers to go help that old man move furniture, and the old man tells him, you know when niggas in the house. And I love the way how they set that scene up, because there's just so much tension in the scene where you're just waiting for something to go wrong here, because going around he's going to his white person's house and something here doesn't look right. The second white man starts calling you boy, run, get out. Like, exactly like the movie. Don't stay there. And just the delivery of the line, everything was just great to me. And to me, Jim Brown was kind of silent in this movie, like, you know, to where he was just trying to keep in his own corner, do his own things. And Malcolm just straight up Ali just straight up outed him. Ali, for me, he was playing more of a support role in this movie, to where he, like, he didn't do, he did a lot, but he didn't do that much. I feel like he was the glue of the group that kept the group together, kept them stable, because everyone's egos were just clashing, especially Malcolm and Cook. But I have respect for all of them, and at the end of the movie, one of my favorite things was hearing that song by Sam Cooke, because I didn't even know he was the person that sang that song. But when he started, I immediately recognized it, and I was just like, how did it go? Um, Something, I was born down by the river in a little tent. Ooh, it hit my soul when I heard it. And now I think about it, this movie was actually recommended to me by. No, I don't think it was. It was a different movie. My bad. It was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And I know supposed to be talking about One Night in Miami, but Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It wasn't a bad movie. It was good. It was a good watch, but it wasn't, to me, in my personal opinion, it wasn't like that great. But in terms of story and stuff like that, because I don't really know all that stuff about Ma Rainey. But yeah, another thing that I noticed in this movie was Mount, Ali's reluctance, because I was always under the notion that Ali was really proud of his name. I'm Muhammad Ali. I'm a Muslim. But in this movie, they show us his reluctance to join the nation, to become a Muslim, um, and to change his name. But eventually, he did change his name to Cassius X, which would later become Muhammad Ali, the name that we all know him by. But in this movie, he was Cassius Clay still, and he was the king of the world. And that's one thing that I love about Ali. It was his charisma. Um, you know how long it's been since I've heard a adult male call himself pretty. Like, this nigga was feeling himself, and like he made me feel like really good about myself. But yeah, the movie was really solid. It's it's getting darker right now. What else is there to talk about? Malcolm knew people were telling him. Um, Jim Brown knew, like, all of these men, they were looking to the future. But yeah, all these men were looking to the future, and I admire them for that. You know, Ali recently died. Then I, I've always admired Malcolm X's philosophy. I really didn't know about Jim Brown and Sam Cooke going into this movie, but learning about them, it really made me appreciate the characters, like them as people as well. Um, I think that's all I really want to say here. There's not a lot of movies that, as I've said, that portray strong black men like this. Um, and I was listening to one of Uncle Murda's songs. Uncle Murda, one of his songs off of his album Wrap Up 2020, Change Gonna Come, where he says, it's the pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's the systemic racism isn't or doesn't exist. You got a victim's mentality, niggas that gotta go first, and he was right. Like, he was very right. Cause these are niggas that are gonna hold you back. Cause they don't know that they're slaves. You know, Harriet freed so many slaves. She could have freed more if they knew they were slaves. Um, with that said, guys, I I think that's it for this video. This was a bit of a slower video. I was just trying to get something out to you guys. Um, you know, I'll get back to my anime stuff in the future. I really wanted to do a Tokyo Revengers review because the manga has been amazing recently, but circumstances just haven't allowed for it. But I feel like the manga is gonna wrap up soon, so I might just do a series overview or something like that. And since the anime is coming out soon enough, yeah, I think I'm gonna might do a vid on that French TV series Lupin because I kind of binged it recently, like yesterday and today. I finished it, well, caught up. Yeah, guys. So greater things coming. I'll drop as much as I can, but in the coming weeks I might not be able to put out as much, but I'll try to. With that said, greater things coming.